Strings, I'ma go let them tug a leg. Spending my bands on P's, you think what I'm getting on the back end. When it comes to doing these numbers, you thought I was doing the math quiz. How you be schooling them niggas the same time learning the rap biz? I don't.
Hey.
What's going on, y'all? New show alert. New fucking show alert. It's going down.
Applause and everything.
Yeah, you getting that. Yeah. I welcome you in there properly. You know what I'm saying? So this is the very first episode of
A Moment with Codac.
Indeed it is. A Moment with Codac. So welcome to A Moment with Codac, everybody. Let me put myself on here so it doesn't seem really weird. Oh, hold on. So, Moment with Codac.
And our first guest is
Yes,
Mr.
here we go.
Lovely with Love to Jam Radio.
And it is, apparently. So, I was trying to get the camera together. What's going on, you guys? Miss Levy, Queen of All Things Indie. And this is a major key alert. Like, I'm super excited. You're going to get the applause button over here to my right, if you're depending on where you are looking at the show, is my boy Codac, man. This has been a long time coming. How the fuck are you doing, Cody?
Man, long time coming. I'm the gravy, man.
Okay, gravy like a bowl or gravy like a train?
Gravy like it's just all smooth.
Oh, okay, I gotta ask. This is your first episode and your first show, so we're gonna do like a little in-depth look at who you are, what we're going to be doing, and what the people can expect to see. So I'm going to give it to you, and you take it away.
All right. Well, I'm Codac.
Hey.
Sorry. I will say that's not my government name, but that's for another
It's
episode.
Not?
Definitely not. A
What?
lot of people be thinking it. It's crazy.
Nigga, your name not Codac?
Exactly.
Nah, I know your name not Codac for real.
Big up. You'll be surprised how many people think that, especially when I'm out dealing with, let's say people of a lighter complexion.
White folk.
Straight up.
You want me to treat them like white folk?
But I guess just some history on where it came from. I can't take the credit for it. I wasn't just some fly nigga like on some, I think I ought to call myself Codac. But I started photography probably back in like around 2000 when I was at PV. So shout out to them Panthers, and then when I went to the military and continued doing photography, one of the guys on the boat was like, man, I'm always seeing you walk around with this goddamn Kodak camera. I'm going to start calling you Kodak. And I'm not sure how many of y'all know or even familiar with an actual aircraft carrier, but it's a big old ship. It's about the size of a couple football fields. You know what I'm saying? So he would literally see me walking through the mess hall. That's where people eat at.
Tell them.
Just so y'all don't know what the military
fucking civilians.
Yeah, exactly. He'd literally be across the mess hall, across the cafeteria. Kodak! And at first I was like, this nigga right here.
He legit for real calling me that.
Exactly. And after a while, I was just like, all right, whatever. But what really made it stick is one of my shipmates hired me to do some family photos of her. She was married to a white gentleman. And at the end of the photo shoot, he was like, oh, yeah, what's your name? And all this other type of stuff. And when I said Kodak, it looked like every single wall, barrier, you know what I'm saying, apprehension, just everything just failed. And it just instantly made this nigga comfortable. Like, wow, that's your name. Your mom named you Kodak and you're a photographer?
Pictures, right?
Oh my gosh. And I was like,
I'll run with it.
White folk do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he forget that I'm a tall, big black nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, I stick with it, And it was more so like, how can, as a photographer, and the game wasn't as saturated as it is now, but there's a lot of photographers. It ain't a shortage of photographers. I was just like, how will they remember me when they need to do their next photos or somebody asking them about some photos? My government name, I Googled it, and it's probably like a few thousand people with my whole entire first, middle, and last name.
Damn, the whole thing?
The whole thing, bro.
Damn.
I'm like, man. But Kodak, it ain't too many people that you gonna find. I was Kodak before Kodak was black. So
damn.
A lot of people like, oh, Kodak black. No. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's true.
I held that down way before that.
Yeah, before that nigga even started
and
coming
I spell
through.
it differently.
Okay.
looking as far as branding,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can't spell it with the K's because it's a whole Kodak brand of that.
Exactly, and they will come for you.
What?
They will come for
know
you
what I'm saying?
expeditiously.
So thinking into the future, I was like, how can I spell it differently? I know, just like what was that movie? Coming to America.
Coming to America.
McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, McDonald's. So
they have the Big Mac, but we have the
exactly. So I took that philosophy and was like, let me just use the C's, and
right.
you'll still get it. So that's how we up to Codac right now.
Speaking of movies,
yeah,
tell us your background with movies, and are we going to be talking about movies on this? Like, what is this show going to be about? This moment with Codac that we're having.
That is a great introduction into, like, you good at this. You real good. You real good. You real good. You know what I'm saying? But no, definitely. I really feel a lot of the times the truth is hidden in plain sight.
Say that shit again for the niggas in the back.
Plain sight. But y'all don't know what that mean. A lot of people will tell you the truth and it'll be right there. Like, I know a lot of y'all have heard the cliche. Yeah. If you want to hide from somebody, hide from them in plain sight. The places that they think is just too common for you to be. Walmart. Oh, well, I know they're not finna be in the closet. Right. Oh. That's where you need to be at. They gonna overlook that closet on some. Oh, I know this nigga not up in there. Yeah. You feel me?
Like, don't look under the bed. Exactly. There's no way a nigga's under the bed. Niggas under the bed.
And I think in this age of consciousness, or let's just say in this age of deception, with how media as a whole has been used, television, radio, broadcast, the whole nine, we know they've used a lot of those platforms to indoctrinate us. To tell us what they want, to tell us what they want us to think, learn, choose to believe. A lot of the times they'll put those things in those platforms because they know we would consume it. As well as us as from babies being visual learners. That's how, babies learn to talk. They watching your lips move. They're not really comprehending the words and what you're actually saying. They're just putting the two and two together by what they see visually, your emotions, your lip movement, and all of that. That's how they're forming the thought of what these words are. On how we learn to speak, and that's how we learn to decipher a lot of things. Before you able to talk, you were able to see. Out the boom, automatic, no problem. Nobody had to teach you to see.
Unless you was born blind.
Well, then that's a whole other case. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the blind people.
And in that case, other senses are heightened. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But back to the point of movies, I've always saw, and I think this comes a little bit from my theater background, being in theater for such a long time. Okay, I had a passion for the big screen all day long, man. I used to irritate the hell out of my friends that went to movies with me because they knew. After a while, it was just something they just got used to. I'm going to sit and be that one person watching the credits. Why? Because I was like, I got to see my name in there. That was confirmation for me on something. Right. I'm going to be on the big screen one day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have to see it all together. Hey, let me see my first name. Okay, wait. Oh, there go the last name. Right. We can leave now.
That's
you know
dope.
What I'm saying?
Somebody came to me with
exactly. So
I always wanted to score movies. That was like as I got older. You remember, so my favorite director is Quentin Tarantino.
All day long.
And he always gets the RZA to do the music for all his movies. You know what I'm saying? And I love the RZA from the Wu-Tang. Super big Wu-Tang fan. So that inspired me. Like, I would listen or watch movies and think of what I would have playing instead of what the fuck whatever score person picked. Because you know how you can watch a movie sometimes, you're like, why is this music playing? This ain't the vibe that it was supposed to happen right now. Right. So I always, that was a tidbit, I always wanted to score movies. I think that shit is so dope. Because it's like a DJ in a club. Like, it really sets the tone for certain scenes and stuff. You took
the words out of my mouth. Coming and studying theater, there's a lot of factors that a lot of people don't take into account that happen through the process of them being visually stimulated. You know what I'm saying? And some of the key factors is light. When you see a scene and it's dark, it automatically puts your mind into it. I mean, you didn't watch a whole bunch of scary movies. When that scene get really dark and you see deep shadows, it make you automatically, subconsciously get into a mode of whether that's fear or what am I going to expect? Something's coming. Let me brace and prepare myself. Then there's sound. Sound has a major factor in setting the tone and setting your mood for a scene in a movie. And just a lot of different scenarios. You know what I'm saying? When that Jaws, that theme, that a shark is coming. You know what I'm saying? So so it's just a lot of different factors, and so that definitely has a big role to play in a movie success is the sound.
Can you imagine like what they was on, like when they're, like when they're making the movie and shit, and they're sitting there and they're like, okay, what can we fucking make? What sound can we make to let niggas know they finna get chewed the fuck up by this shark?
And see, it's deeper because, like I say, some of the stuff that we'll start to discuss later on in some of these other episodes, as far as movies, really taking an in-depth look, a little deeper than what most people have even considered. But
what do you mean?
Sound is nothing but vibration.
Okay.
It resonates and it triggers certain emotions and things inside of you automatically. That's just it happens subconsciously. You make no actual conscious effort to feel this way when you hearing a certain sound. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's part of the thing that they took in mind when creating that sound for Jaws is this certain vibration, this certain resonance that they use that they know because they study a lot of this stuff, how it would trigger certain emotions inside the human body. And hey, we can all see years later successful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people follow that blueprint. So, like I say, sound, music, all that stuff plays a part, man, in how we just interact and how we deal with certain things that, you know what I'm saying, come into our psyche. But like I said, we'll get deep, man. We'll start really evaluating a lot of these movies, a lot of these TV shows that we've watched for years, that we've seen, and just how it kind of has played an effect on our culture. You know what I'm saying? So, in a lot of ways, I know it seemed like, hey, I'm just extra pro black, and it's really not too far fetched into that, trying to prove that case, because I don't have to prove that I'm black. That just is what it is. I got melanin and a lot of it. You feel what I'm saying? And so I know a lot of my thought process is going to be catered to how our culture, our community has been affected by a lot of different things. Because if you blacking in America, or let's just even bring it more home, if you blacking in Texas and Houston, and you're happy with our state of being, in a sense, compared to a lot of other cultures, if you just ecstatic and just think everything is great, then you just really being blind, and it's sometimes I want to say you just it's a little too late. That veil that they talk about in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? You missed that part of the class of getting that removed, getting that ripped. And, you know what I'm saying? But we can hope to maybe just awaken some things. I ain't gonna claim to have all the answers. I don't know why I didn't go and talk to no directors about some of these movies and why they did what they said they did, and why they portrayed this scene the way that they portrayed it. But me feeling like I'm connected to the universal knowledge and consciousness, there's just certain things that just come into my mind of how it really affects us on a deeper level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna break down some of y'all favorite shows. Ooh. And maybe you'll start to see, dang, I didn't realize that I was thinking this way, or coming to these conclusions subconsciously, how it's affected my day-to-day activities out here in the world. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we talk about the relationships with the black family, relationships between black men and black women. It ain't all of our fault directly. It's not like we just made some conscious decision to do these things, but a lot of these things have been played out in the media for years, man. Yeah. And when you look at it from a different perspective, you can see we almost had no hope to wake up, but you know, the stars are aligning and it's in our favor.
Actually, I thought about you guys today because I was looking on, what the fuck was I looking on? Some shit. I don't know what the fuck I was looking on, but it was a picture of Superman kissing another man.
Oh, I seen that meme.
Okay, so,
I didn't even pay too much attention. I just completely scrolled through it, man.
So it made me go and look. Hold on, Superman. They ain't do that on the where you from. You know, you coming here with that shit. That's not what was going on before. So he's bisexual now, apparently, and they're putting it in a cartoon. And the new cartoon, I'm just like.
So let me break that down to a little deeper for you.
Oh.
Without even going far into, I ain't looked at the meme really. I just seen it and just scrolled past it.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Same thing.
I ain't even go.
Well, I mean, I looked because I wanted to know what the fuck was going on. The hell happened to Superman?
What they are not telling us, which they know in this age of awakening, what we will find out. You know, the original character Superman was a black dude. The same thing with the Green Lantern. Because these are knowledge that they're taking from our ancient histories, our ancient documentations of who and what we were. You know what I'm saying? And they just portraying characters that to an extent really existed when they go and read some of this ancient text of things that we were able to do. The beings that existed on this actual planet. You know what I'm saying? That may have came from other planets. But beings that actually walk this earth. And Superman was a black dude, man, all day long. And so when you look at the extreme effort to demasculate, you know what I'm saying, the black male, why wouldn't they do that? When we're awakening,
Right.
kids nowadays looking are able to find knowledge that we wasn't able to find back in the day.
Because the good
You feel
old
what I'm saying?
internet.
So
Right.
lo and behold, some kid really just start digging and searching and see, oh, Superman was black. And so that's on one part of his consciousness. But now they pushing this agenda, oh, Superman's bisexual.
Right.
So it's making them feel, well, maybe at my core, oh, it's cool, I'm bisexual. It's no
Right.
problem.
Superman's bisexual. He's got powers.
But you see that in a lot of cartoons.
Yeah,
They
but
pushing
for
that agenda.
something so
Old and already
like
concrete.
this is like
man.
finding out that they really put Coke inside of Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, nigga, I love that soda.
Exactly. I mean, and people just need to really just think about a lot of the stuff that if you over the age of 30, you've lived long enough to see some things play out.
Indeed. And I think we're our group is kind of like in a weird era to have experience.
Situation.
The 80s, the crack hit, the 90s, women dressed like men. Like, it's just so much to have happened in the subsequent 30 years for us.
We've seen a lot.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot, and I think a lot of the stuff just needs to be deciphered. And so that can help in us awakening.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times we receiving so much information. We receiving so much data visually, sound-wise, all of that. But nobody's helping us decipher this information. A lot of the times because we ain't really reading our own history. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of this stuff just goes by and we just, you know what I'm saying, casually just dismiss it, not really being aware of how it's really truly affecting our psyche. Which is one of the reasons, and I know we're on a radio show, so this is going to sound like blasphemy.
No blasphemy.
To an extent,
this is a safe
but
space.
this is one of the reasons why I don't listen to a lot of the music on the radio.
Oh, facts.
Because not even going deep into it, I was just consciously able to understand and accept this does play a part in how I feel throughout the day, depending on what I'm listening to.
I agree.
And they purposely, even with the sound waves, the actual tone of the music, they are keeping our vibrations low. And we just, wouldn't let it happen without even a second thought. But, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're awakening, so it's hope. It's hope, man.
So would you say one of the goals of your show is every episode for a person to become a little more woke than they came in?
Most definitely. And if anything, I would say this, because I'm not going to claim to nobody that I got all the answers. I would say I would just love for you to be able to look at things at a different perspective. Let me just offer a different perspective than what you may have already considered. And it's for you to do your own digging and your own research. You know what I'm saying? But I just sometimes play devil's advocate just to get your brain to work. Work that muscle, man. You got to train the same when they tell you working out. Sometimes you got to trick your body. You got to do a different exercise just so it makes your muscle be like, oh, what the hell is going on over here?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? If you want those optimal results. You feel what I'm saying? Like I say, man,
my muscles have an African accent. I don't know about y'all muscles, but my muscles talk African accents to me.
Hey, that's just one of the other consciousness that's exists inside of that.
We're the ancestors.
It ain't coming from just nowhere. You feel
right. Do another push-up right now. Getting good at it.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be lovely, man. I'm looking forward to the experience. It's definitely, like I said, it's something that's been just a long time coming. I've had a lot of stuff in my head, and throughout the years, I've always had that nagging thought that it's just stuff that needs to be put out there in the ether, man. Just put it out there to the universe,
Well, so we're gonna be talking about stuff on a conscious level.
Correct.
We're going to be looking at the conscious effect of different shows, movies, and other
music. Anything that comes into your psyche, whether it's through your visual receptors, your ears, you know what I'm saying? Consciously, sound waves, lights, all that stuff. I ain't going to get into no deep philosophical stuff because I ain't no scientist. You feel what I'm saying? None of that.
You could be a hood scientist.
But, hey, you feel me? But it's just, like I say, it's just giving y'all a piece of my brain.
So are you really into senses and stuff like that? Because I know you dabble with VR, right?
Right, most definitely.
So tell the people a little bit about the VR situation that you're going to be introducing along with this.
I guess I'll put it to you like this. If you're not up on virtual reality, you behind the curve already. We need to catch up. When I first had my experience with virtual reality, once I took that headset off, the words that came out of my mouth was, the future is here and we late. We late as a culture. I saw the same role playing out as the computer age when the desktop really first became accessible to us. We was
Right.
what, maybe 5-10 years
Already
behind the
in.
curve when
Mhm.
other cultures, and let's just call it what it is, white folk had computers in their home. They kids was breaking down these computer boards and circuit boards, learning how to code and all these things. This is why most of them have those jobs that are in so demand right now and necessary. Just look at, we can't operate without a phone completely. Like, you go down there lost, you'll lose your mind. Your phone crack, break, battery go dead. You like, what? You
I
know what I'm
literally
saying?
would be lost because I suck at directions.
Hey,
And I'm not from here.
You feel me?
Yeah, and I
But-
come here every. I mean, bitch, I'm trying to go to work. I don't know where I'm at. Help me.
You ain't the only
Back in the
one.
day,
It's a
niggas
lot
used
of
to.
that.
What we used to do? We used to print out the MapQuest directions,
Exactly.
right? Or write down.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Somebody trying to tell you to get to the house. I'm like, all right,
Right.
tell me the directions.
Right.
I turn left where?
What's the name of the
freeway
street?
I move on? You know what I'm saying? You know,
Nah.
it used to throw you off when you would see 610 East or 610
10
North.
North, right.
You be like, bro, you didn't say 610 North. You
don't
said
know.
16 East.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Completely
And then
just
them
mess
hoes
your brain
change
up.
in the middle.
Exactly.
Like,
But no, virtual reality, man, it's just a new technique. And it's not really new because they've been talking about virtual reality since the 80s. Just, I would challenge a few of you. Just look up history of virtual reality. You're going to see some black and white photos of these old, crazy looking headsets and eyeglasses, but then go and look up the Oculus Quest 2. And you can see the similarity. This is stuff they've been working on for a long time. The only difference was certain technology didn't exist. When you're talking about these different chips and microchips and different things of this nature, it just didn't exist in our world at that time for it to be really available to us in the way that it is now. You know what I'm saying? To where the average consumer can really experience
to
this
get it.
on a way that can really be received. But I definitely would love to. I'm not sure if it's going to be every episode, but let's just say
At least once a
more
month or
than
so.
a few episodes.
Yeah.
We're going to give people the opportunity to have their first virtual reality experience.
Yes.
You know
And what
I'm
are you
saying?
hoping they walk away with? Or like,
Realizing that the future is here and the possibilities are endless.
Right.
If I would tell you my ultimate goal of what I would love to accomplish as far as me dealing with virtual reality, me being a conscious being, I would almost want to say using their tools that they have put in place to keep us caged and to keep us behind closed doors, we can use those very same tools to wake us up. And I feel if you can visually show and put somebody in a certain experience, you can really unlock certain things in their consciousness because you can see it visually. And so I guess to put that plainly, I would love to create some type of scenario in the virtual world to where we can go back into the ages where our complexion, when the world was ruled by melanin, what they really look like.
right.
What that truly look like. And I absolutely 100% believe that's going to unlock a lot of stuff in our DNA that's already sitting dormant. There's so much research out there as far as just how much history and data is stored in our DNA. But just like the phones and these other technologies like computer, the things didn't exist for us to really be able to access that. Now they have the technology to where you can put a drop of your blood on a hard drive, and that data that's in your actual DNA can be read, and you can see it as if you looking at this TV screen right here.
Like where
You
certain
seeing
things come
actual
from? Like
zeros and ones, hardcore visual data, pictures, videos. It may be sound bites. Who knows what our ancestors stored in our DNA for us to be able to access? But it's just been sitting there,
Right.
and we talking about realistically thousands of years of data inside of each one of our DNA. So when you look at that as just for the lineage, just looking at your parents, if you can go back and get some information that 100 years ago your ancestors experienced, you feel what I'm saying? They may be sitting down in the field talking to you from the past on stuff they wanted you on. Because, we right now, let's just say people that may have kids, or let's just say regardless, if you're thinking about what you want to do or how you want to impart your wisdom onto the world, and sometimes you have those moments with yourself of like, this is what, Mark, I want to leave. This is the future I see. I want some part of my lineage to have this type of experience and be living in this type of way.
Right.
Hey, man, it's all there for you to really just talk to them like that, as if you recorded them a video.
Right.
And be like, I'm talking to you 100 years from the past, and this is what I had hoped for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is the power that we have. this is some of the stuff that we were able to do. So it's almost in a sense like y'all need to catch up. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I would really love to hope as far as an overall experience with virtual reality. But in the beginning, just to start it off, is just let us know what type of technology and future is really out here that we can have access to, and not and hope that we don't ain't 5-10 years behind like we was with the computer, man.
Or when they found out slavery was ended.
Oh Lord, y'all just
we
seen
have
that,
a whole Juneteenth experience.
man, I just seen that. It's on Instagram on one of these Instagram channels or videos or whatever the case can be. But it was like,
stop it.
In certain parts of the South, to them, slavery literally didn't end until the 60s.
Yeah.
And so when you look at it, they were saying slavery ended around the 50s. You talking about people that really thought that they were
still slaves.
Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they interviewing some of these kids that had to grow up in that scenario. They was like, no, we was literally a slave. My daddy got lynched because he tried to leave. He was going to leave me, my mama, and the whole family because he was like, I can't take it no more. I got to get free. I got to go. And he didn't know slavery had ended, but he burnt off. And it was on some, he got to a country road from running through miles of fields or woods, whatever the case can be, met some white folk, telling them what the situation was, or I just got to leave here, yada, yada. They put him in the back of the buggy, covered him up. Next thing you know, when he got out, he was right back at the plantation.
Goddamn.
And they beat the hell out of this nigga in front of his whole family, and then castrated him, and then killed him and hung him. You feel what I'm saying?
Damn.
But we talking about the 60s, late 50s, 60s. These people were still living in slavery, full-fledged bondage,
right? Not
able to leave. But when if you from the South, if you travel just a little bit, go out there towards Prairie View, you can see acres of, I'm talking about hundreds of acres of open field. Right. So you got to think about back in the day when we ain't got no TV, no radio, no cell phones, no none of that, no newspapers that's circulating through there. It's easy to keep them people believing that there's a certain type of world that exists that's really not true. And so fast forward that to the social media right now. We so closed off in boxes, we believe there's a certain world that don't exist just due to what we exposed to. Right. When we talking about there's beings on other planets. But that's for a whole nother episode. You feel me? I mean,
y'all see where this is going.
This rabbit hole gonna get deep, man. I hope y'all ready. You feel me? You can't be scared.
Nah, just don't be scared. This ain't for you.
You feel me? Just be willing to have the conversation. That's it. That's it.
That's all you got to do is have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited. I can't wait to hear different perspectives that you have. And of course, we're interactive. So we can always have people video in their thoughts and stuff of that nature. But I think we should take a little break and let this people sit with this for a second.
Yeah, let it simmer.
Let it simmer.
Already.
And we'll be right back with a moment with Codac.